It's 2 in the morning, and you're locked in a familiar, silent argument. One part of you is calculating, pragmatic. It's telling you to stay in the job, to be realistic, to not risk the security you've built. Another part of you, a voice that feels both younger and older, is screaming that you're suffocating, that you are trading your life for a paycheck, that every day you stay, a little more of you dies. So you lie there, paralyzed, a battlefield of one. You feel the tension in your jaw, the heat behind your eyes. This isn't just indecision. It's a grinding internal war that exhausts you before the day has even begun. You judge yourself for it, calling it weakness, a character flaw. But what if this war is a profound misunderstanding? What if the problem isn't that these voices exist, but that you've refused to hold a proper meeting? You've been trying to win a battle against yourself when your real task is to sit down at the head of the table and listen. Because this isn't a flaw in your character, it's a failure of your strategy. Let's call your current strategy what it is, the logic of self-suppression. Your mind presents a conflict, the voice of ambition versus the voice of security, the voice of desire versus the voice of fear. Your immediate, unconscious response is to pick a side. You decide one voice is good and the other is bad. You try to starve the bad voice, to reason it away, to shame it into silence. But it never works. Why? First, because every voice in your psyche has a fundamental purpose. That fear of instability isn't a flaw. It's an ancient survival mechanism. The part of you that sabotages relationships isn't evil. It's likely a terrified younger part trying to protect you from a pain it once experienced. Trying to destroy that part is like trying to cut the brakes out of your car because you don't like how they slow you down. It is logically incoherent. Second, this strategy creates a feedback loop. The more you suppress a part of yourself, the louder and more extreme it must become to be heard. It's like holding a beach ball underwater. The more force you apply to push it down, the more violent its eventual eruption will be. This is the source of sudden outbursts, acts of self-sabotage, and the feeling that you are not in control of your own life. The conclusion is unavoidable. The war against the self cannot be won. It can only be fought to a bitter, exhausting stalemate. The solution, therefore, is not a better weapon. It is a change of venue from the battlefield to the negotiating table. So, how do we arrange this negotiation? To understand the mechanism, we need a new metaphor. Stop seeing your mind as a battlefield. Start seeing it as an embassy. Think of it this way. Your conscious, waking mind, the part you think of as you, is the home country. It's the seat of government. But beyond its borders lies a vast, powerful foreign nation, your unconscious. This nation is the source of your deepest drives, your creativity, your intuition, and your unresolved wounds. And it regularly sends ambassadors to your embassy. The stooped, critical figure in your dreams is an ambassador. The sudden flash of rage is an ambassador. The magnetic, idealized image you project onto a romantic partner, the anima, is a very powerful ambassador. For years, you have treated these dignitaries as enemies at the gate. You've ignored their messages, denied their credentials, and tried to shoot them on sight. The result is this internal civil war. Active imagination, the technique developed by Carl Jung, is the formal process of diplomatic engagement. It is the art of inviting these ambassadors inside, sitting them down, and listening with respect. I know this fever not as an idea, but as a place I once lived. I once treated my own mind like a hostile territory, only to discover I was the occupying force, fighting a population that was simply trying to communicate. But how practically do you conduct this diplomacy? You don't send in a soldier, you send in a detective. This brings us to a pragmatic analogy. Interviewing a cryptic informant. Think about it. A good detective can't force a reluctant informant to talk. He can't threaten them or put words in their mouth. He has to build rapport. He finds a quiet, neutral location. He lets the informant speak first, in their own words. He asks simple, open-ended questions. Who are you? What do you want? What is your purpose here? He listens to the subtext, the emotion, the hesitation. And most importantly, he writes everything down exactly as it was said, not as he wished it was said. This is the exact method of active imagination. It is a disciplined, respectful interrogation of the unknown parts of yourself. This is not a passive meditation. It is an active, disciplined practice. It requires 3 clear protocols. Protocol 1, secure the room. Find a time and place where you will not be disturbed for 15 minutes. No phone, no distractions. Sit comfortably with a pen and a journal. This action is not trivial. You are signaling to your own psyche that you are taking this meeting seriously. Just as you can't have a sensitive diplomatic meeting in a crowded market, you cannot meet these figures amidst the noise of daily life. You are creating a secure, intentional space. Protocol 2, the open invitation. Close your eyes. Bring to mind a current problem or a recurring mood. Don't force an image. Simply hold the feeling and wait to see what person, creature, or landscape appears in your mind's eye. It might be a figure from a recent dream, or it might be something totally unexpected. Whatever it is, accept it without judgment. This figure is the ambassador who has accepted your invitation. By not forcing a specific image, you grant safe passage. You are showing that this is not an ambush. It is a genuine invitation to dialogue. Protocol 3, conduct the interview. Once the image is clear, begin the work. You can speak out loud or just in your mind, but you must write down the entire exchange in your journal. Start by asking, "Who are you?" Or, "What do you have to show me?" Write down its response. Let it have its own voice. Don't censor it. Don't argue with it. Continue asking simple questions. Why are you here? What do you want from me? When it is finished, thank it for its time and end the session. Writing is crucial. It makes the experience concrete and prevents your conscious ego from immediately distorting or forgetting the message. It is the official diplomatic record. This record allows you to analyze the intelligence later, soberly and objectively. This process will feel strange at first, but stay with it. You are learning the language of your own soul. What happens when you stop fighting the war and start practicing diplomacy? The change is not a sudden lightning strike of enlightenment. It is a slow, steady return to order. It is a tangible, felt sense. The constant low-grade hum of anxiety in your chest begins to quiet down. The internal arguments that once paralyzed you are replaced by productive negotiations. Decisions become clearer, not because one side finally crushed the other, but because a consensus was reached, a treaty was signed. You begin to feel a sense of wholeness, not as some abstract, mystical concept, but as the simple, grounded feeling of having all your parts moving in the same direction. Your energy, once wasted on internal conflict, is now free to be deployed into the world. You no longer feel like a house divided against itself. You feel like a sovereign state governed by a leader who is wise enough to listen to his entire council. This is the beginning of self-mastery. It isn't about having an iron will. It's about having an open ear. So start listening.